Oh yeah, y'all already know what time it is. You already know what's going on. I am your host Cam Silver,
I am your co-host Kyle Silver.
and welcome back to another episode of the Silver Boys Podcast.
Hey,
Cool.
let's get it. Let's get another week in the books, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another crazy week of college basketball. But uh, there are some things going on right now in the NFL with the NFL offseason officially getting started. We had the NFL Combine officially getting started this weekend. So a lot of news coming out of the NFL Combine. This is where everyone meets up. A lot of rumors are starting to get moved around. Is this player going to be here? Is this player going to be there? A lot of that good stuff. So let's just get into a couple of things. So the Cowboys actually signed Javonte Williams to a 3-year deal that includes 16 million guaranteed. So good for him. He's actually been playing very well over there. The Vikings are exploring all possibilities to improve quarterback play.
Not surprised. Not surprised.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very interested to see where that could go too, because this year isn't really the biggest year for them to have quarterbacks. I think next year will be the better year.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. As of right now, Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson will compete for Brown's starting quarterback job. So yeah, that's the one that I was waiting on for you to see.
What?
Yeah.
They just trying to get their money's worth. That's all. That's all that's about. They still trying to just put him out there to see if he can still play or not. Deshaun. That's all I can say about it. Cause come on, man, ain't no way.
Hey man, they gotta get their money's worth, bro. They gave him a fully guaranteed contract. They
I mean,
gave that man a contract like he was in the MLB.
yeah,
Like,
yo, I'm saying I don't. I mean, you know, I think a lot of people, you know, can definitively say I think that Shador deserves that starting spot.
hmm
It just along with the progression, if he's progressed right, I think that he can be a top tier quarterback in this league. So I'm interested to see how this offseason is going to go, and then where they go from here, depending on I want to see how Deshaun Watson looks in tryout, not tryouts, but mini camps and mandatory workouts and stuff like that. That's really what I'm interested to see what that news is going to be looking like coming out of there.
yeah, same here. Also can't forget obviously about Dylan Gabriel. He could possibly be in the
Mm-hmm.
running as well, and then whoever else that they probably try to sign off to their um off to their roster. The Texans do intend to keep CJ Stroud after a up and down season, I would say. Not surprised there.
I'm not
Um,
either. I don't think, we have up and down seasons, quarterbacks have that. So I'm not really that shocked. I think he still deserves another chance, don't get me wrong. Just to really see if this is the trajectory his career is going, whether that be downward or upwards. A down year is a down year. So
yeah,
it's all about how you bounce back from it realistically.
exactly. There you go. You took the words right out of my mouth. I think that he will be fine. It's just the fact that it just looked bad.
Yeah.
The fumbles and then the interceptions, everything just he looks out of sorts.
But those are things that can be fixed, though.
Exactly.
They can be fundamentally fixed. So I'm not ruling out hope on CJ just yet, especially with if that defense is going to come back the way it is, and be a top defense in the league. It'll be interesting to see how CJ bounces back realistically and really. I don't think he'll have another bad year. I can't I don't see it. I don't see it. He looks like a man that learns from his mistakes.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine. The Raiders GM says that they do expect to keep Max Crosby. Obviously a lot of teams want him,
Mm-hmm.
especially after the way that last season ended with them sitting him out, even though they said he had an injury, but he said he didn't have an injury. So it was a very ugly scene at the end of the year. But they do intend to keep Max Crosby, and you would like to, obviously, because of them more than likely going to be picking up Mendoza in with the very first pick. Um, Eagles head coach said that they can't guarantee that AJ Brown will be back this season. Not shocked personally.
They
I'm
just
not shocked.
confirmed what we I feel like what we knew.
Yeah, I think the thing is, do you keep him for one more year just to test it out, or do you just get rid of it because over these last, what, 2 to 3 years as of late. It's always been something going on with him, and it's either with him or another player, from the quarterback, running back, another wide receiver, or the head coach, maybe even the front office. So it's always something.
Yeah, and so this Eagles organization needs to get right because we know what they can do when they're clicking on all cylinders. No matter who the quarterback is, no matter what players they got, we know what they can do. So I think personally they should just like move on. I think it's time. I think there's a lot of animosity that's been building up and a lot of turmoil that's just been building up within AJ Brown, within that organization, them clashing heads. So who knows if he's truly, truly unhappy in that locker room or not. But I think it's time. I think he should go. That's my personal opinion. I really do think he should go. New dig somewhere is could revitalize your entire career for real. Because after that last playoff game, brother.
Yeah, no, it was
Ooh,
bad, bad.
I don't know
It
about
looked,
that one.
man, it did not look good at all. The Jets plan to use their franchise tag on Brees Hall if they can't reach a deal with him. So we'll keep an eye on that one. I do know that the Falcons did use their franchise tag on Kyle Pitts.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, no, that is actually pretty interesting, and also that they did release Kirk Cousins. I'm not mistaken. It may have been last week or 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. So
So
that one,
that's really gonna be Michael Penix's team then, huh?
but
Because
that's the
who's
question
the
though.
who's the other who's the third string then?
I have no idea, but that's my biggest question though, right? So like, as much as I champion Michael Penix Jr., I love Michael Penix Jr. for those who don't know. Um, as much as I champion him, it's also the fact that he has an extensive injury, report.
History, yeah.
So very it's up in the air right now on who's really going to be the quarterback, because you remember they also have a new head coach down there.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
The front office is also new too. So it's up in the air, and I know their former quarterback Matt Ryan, he has a lot of say now
Mm-hmm.
in things that are going to go on because he's in the front office. So it's a new day down there in Atlanta, so you got to watch your step.
Yeah, I mean, I'll argue that with Kirk Cousins not being there, um, you definitely do take out a safety net, because of Michael Penix's injury history. But I also could argue that, you know, now Michael Penix doesn't have to worry about nobody looking over his shoulder. Essentially, next man up. So will that give him more confidence? I'm hoping so because I definitely champion that man as well too. I think he could do a lot of things. I think he can lead a league somewhere. Lead a league. He can lead an organization somewhere. Um, but he has to stay healthy, like you said. Can he? Still up in the air, still up for debate. I think you give him one more like solid season. Let's see where he can go. Let's see if he can stay healthy, and hopefully nothing bad, so nothing serious happens for real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they just gotta, it's gonna be an interesting season for the Falcons because they were just what a win or two away from
Yeah,
making the playoffs.
yeah.
Yeah. The this trade just happened on Thursday. Jets send defensive end Jermaine Johnson to the Titans for defensive tackle Tavondre Sweat. So Jermaine Johnson is actually pretty good too. So
Mm,
that's the big pickup for the Titans. You could tell
okay.
that they are yeah, no, Robert Saleh and is trying to get them boys back on track down there in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is another big one. I want to get your reaction on because this news just came out not too long ago. The Colts give Anthony Richardson permission to seek a trade.
I don't know how I feel about that. He was on the Colts, right? So, and then I got a Daniel Jones is on that is there.
Yes.
Damn, bro, you got damn. Good lord. Got replaced by Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson. That's terrible. That's terrible. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna be the first one to say it. That can't happen. Um, they're allowing him to get a trade because they don't want him for real. That's very clear here. And he shows that he couldn't realistically do anything. with the time that he has had. I know he
Mm-hmm.
had an injury, correct? Though,
Yep.
so
Yep.
that took him out for that sidelined him for a portion. But I'm not shocked. Realistic, I'm not really that shocked. I'm not really that shocked. Will he get picked up by anybody? That's going to be more interesting.
Yes. Yes, because I
Will
think
he
he
be
will.
second? The Browns going to mess around and pick him up. Watch.
I
Watch.
think I think he will, but the question is by who, and will he be able to learn from his past mistakes with Indianapolis and be able to make up for those past mistakes wherever the heck he goes, whether that's Cleveland, we just talked about. We also just talked about the Falcons
Hmm.
needing somebody else too, which would be very interesting too. Two young quarterbacks going at it like that,
Yeah.
trying to see who could really get the starting spot.
You know
Um,
what he needs a team like though? He needs to
mm,
go to like the Rams. He needs to like, go behind Matt Stafford. Go behind um
oh, sit in with like the oh my God, 49ers.
yes, yes.
Yes,
He
like a
needs an
Kyle
offense.
Shanahan.
He needs an offense that he doesn't need to be a game winner. He needs an offense where he could just be a game manager for real.
Boom, there you go.
That's really how I feel about him, especially because, there's still, his ceiling is his ceiling, whether that be lower than what it was when he came in, in the draft, whether that's diminished, I don't know. But he needs that type of offense. He needs that type of coach who can put him in a system and get him to learn a system in the best way. And then he can bounce off of that and really show who he is and develop, certain tendencies and certain things that he won't be able to pick up just, as in Indianapolis, or just,
Right.
another wild team that you can think of, the Jets, you know? So that's how I feel.
Yeah, yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, no, he just needs to be somewhere where, we've seen Daniel Jones' career revitalized, when he went to Minnesota. Just sitting there behind Sam Darnold and being able to learn, Sam Darnold, probably the best example right now, right? Just go somewhere where uh the coach understands how to develop a quarterback with the Kevin
Yeah.
O'Connell, with the Kyle Shanahan, with one of those guys. So, and that's what, and like you said, he needs a team around him where he doesn't have to do a lot.
Hmm.
Um, like I think the Colts was a team, but it was just the mistakes. It was the tapping of the helmet to come out of the game.
Yeah.
Injury came in and sidelined him at a bad time as well while he was trying to get himself back on track. So yeah, things just didn't go his way in Indianapolis. So I think I like I said, I co-sign exactly what you just said. He just has to get somewhere where he doesn't have to do a lot, but also he has to get somewhere where he could learn a lot more. So just in case he does have to do more, he can do more without
Hmm.
even, being second guessed.
And especially without overextending himself as well. Like
That as
I
well.
just to bring up the Sam Darnold point, like look at Sam Darnold. Anthony Richardson still got years left in this league, and he can still make a name for himself. It could be 7 years from now, it could be 10 years from now, but he very well can, come back from this. Is what I'm going to say about it. And hopefully just prove that he belongs here. I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally agree. Moving on to let's go to the NBA real quick. Um, I do know that James Harden is dealing with a thumb injury right now. Yeah, so from what I'm hearing, that he does plan to keep playing through it or try to play through it. But
Hmm.
yes, he is playing through a thumb injury right now, so that will be something to keep eyes on as Cleveland is trying to keep pace with the rest of the East, with the likes of the Detroit Pistons, with the Knicks, with the oh my
Are
goodness,
they
with the
above 500 since they got him? Do you know?
James Harden.
Like, is Cleveland like they winning with him? Correct.
Oh, they only lost like one game.
I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure. Okay now.
Yeah,
Okay now.
yeah, no, they only lost like one game since they got him, so they're like
Okay.
8-1 or something like that.
Okay. So they cooking. They cooking.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're looking pretty good. Um, actually, not much to talk about in the NBA right now since
Hmm.
things have kind of like settled down in terms of trades and all that good stuff. There were some signings out there. I do know Taj Gibson is back. Yeah, he's with the Memphis Grizzlies. Wow, yeah, yeah.
to get rid of Triple J and sign Taj Gibson. You can't make
Sell
this
the
stuff
team.
up, man. They're like, yeah, we need a vet in this locker room. That's what happened. Marcus Smart wasn't enough, huh?
Clearly not, because they got rid of him too. He with the Lakers now. But no, the reason why I wanted to come to the NBA real quick, just for a few minutes, is because the MVP race is heating up.
Mm-hmm.
So people are either talking about Cade Cunningham, possibly Jaylen Brown, Kawhi Leonard. I think Nikola Jokic, he could only afford to miss one more game, or else he's out.
Mm,
So as of right now, Kyle, who do you have as your MVP?
I'm gonna have to give the nod to Cade right now, just because of where that team was last year, and how they had what they got. They went to the semis, bounced out in the semis by the Knicks,
I
second
don't think they
first
were.
round.
I think it was the first round,
First round. Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not.
That man's just a dog. He's a dog right now. He's showing that he's putting that team on his back.
Mhm.
Jokic, if it's you're asking a lot. You only got to miss one more. You can only allow one more game, or else you're out of the race. Which I do love, though. I can't lie. I love this new rule. Got this 65 game interval, man. I like this. I like this a lot. Does SGA get the nod still? Because they are number one with the Spurs creeping up on them though. But I think in terms of a most valuable player, I think it goes to Cade or Jaylen. Actually, I'm gonna give it to Cade or Jaylen Brown because of what he's doing with that Celtic squad over there. No JT. Again, he's putting that squad on his back, and he's showing that he can run. He can carry a team at least,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
keep them what in the running of top three essentially.
yeah. No, they're easily top three right now. I'm trying to get it to low. Yep, they're number two right
Number
now.
two, exactly.
Yeah, they're 5.5 back of Detroit.
I
But
actually
yeah,
have more confidence in Boston than I do in the Knicks. Honestly, right
I
now.
think because they've been tested before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you have a leader who's already won a championship,
Yeah.
along with a Peyton Pritchard who also has won a championship as well with them. So,
Mm-hmm.
no, I agree with that. I see. I like the Kate Cunningham pick. I think Cunningham more than well could win it, but I'm gonna go with Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
Reasons that you said, just the fact that they don't have JT. Not many people at all probably had them even top six. I
Mm-hmm.
think most people probably had them like in the play-in.
Yeah.
But the way that Jaylen Brown is doing his thing right now, he's fourth right now in points with 29.1. What, the top 35 in rebounds at
Mm-hmm.
7.1 per game, and then he's averaging 4.8 assists per game. Assists per game, excuse me. So he's looking really good. And then there are games where he has, triple doubles, like against Golden State last Thursday, 23 points, 15 boards, 13 assists. Like, when did you ever see Jaylen Brown hitting triple doubles?
Yeah, because he's got to do more with the rock now. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
and that's him. And the fact he's taking full advantage of it though. And like you said earlier, something that I just want to really buffer your points, just the fact that I didn't even have him really this high for real. I really didn't. Number two right now at this point in the season, and that
hmm
shows toughness. That shows grit. That shows that you understand the moment and you understand where your team is at and how to get them to where they need to go for real.
Correct, correct. Yeah, no, I love it right now. Huge Jaylen Brown fan. I've been a huge Jaylen Brown fan too. It's always been questionable with him
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you have like these weird turnovers, or he take what we would call like bad shots, I
Don't
guess.
don't yo. I didn't clown that man for not being able to dribble with his left hand, but I gotta give props where props is due for real.
Not he dribbling with both hands, he
Yeah,
dunking
and
on you.
looking ambidextrous out there.
Yeah, man, my man Jaylen Brown, he cooking up the league right now for sure. Um, one team I did want to talk about though, real quick, was what is going on with your Knicks, my brother? Like,
They look like a shell of themselves. I don't even know.
like one game, against the Rockets, they have that great monumental comeback, and then a couple games later, they lose 109 to 94 to the Cavs.
Inconsistent. And I don't. I'm gonna tell you something that this is what I was afraid of when Mike Brown came in. You wanna know why? Because at least I kind of knew with Tom Thibodeau that like tough.
Yeah, yeah.
Cat look out of sorts. I don't like the way Cat playing. And I take back everything I said. I would have traded him for Giannis. I take back everything I said. I take back like come. Oh God, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, and it's bothering me. It really is.
You want to know the bad thing is that he got exposed last year in the playoffs when they went against the Pacers. You know what I mean? Like the this is my biggest thing with him. What was it? Game two? No, game one where Aaron Neesmith was hitting all those threes on a
Oh my
comeback.
God, yo, Aaron. Oh, jeez, don't even get me started on him. Go ahead.
I'll never forget. I think they were on the coming down the court. They're on the left side. Aaron Neesmith, I think, comes off of a pick, and then for some unknown reason, Cat is sitting instead of getting up to the 3-point line to contest. And that right there showed me almost everything I needed to see, because it's like, my boy, this dude literally just hit 3 threes in a row, and you're gonna sit back and just watch him hit another three instead of crowding him and making him put the ball on the ground.
Yeah, like what you sagging off for? Like why are you playing drop coverage essentially in pick and roll against a dude who just came off? Yeah, I don't get that.
It's just one of those things, man, like where and he doesn't get up as much shots as he used to as well when he had Tibbs with him.
And that's why I'm like, it something you can definitely see that there's a change in the system, you know.
Yeah,
I can also, but you can also attribute that to, number one, he's getting into foul trouble a lot early and a lot more often. So of course he's not putting up as much shots. He's probably cold when he's coming in the game, and that's why he looked the way he do.
yeah, that too.
I don't have faith. I don't, especially like them letting Cade Cunningham walk into your building and drop 42 the other week.
Yeah, that was bad. That was horrible,
That's
especially without their two big men and Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, and like that's what's scary because those are your two enforcers. So what happens in the playoffs when Cat got to go see them two boys for 5 games, 6 games?
Yeah,
I just Detroit just looks like a stronger team. I would take Detroit in. I'll take Detroit in 6 if that happens.
I don't. Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. I would too.
I might even Boston shaky. Look at how close they had to get to beat Boston.
Yeah. The other night there was one night where they lost to Indiana in like an overtime game, and it's like,
Yeah.
who does Indiana even have, bro? Like,
I need them to string together like a solid 10 to 15 game win streak. Like that's what I need.
most def, most def. Right before we get up out of here, we got about like 5-6 minutes. So, right before we get up out of here, let's transition over to college basketball. So last week we had some pretty good games. Arizona defeated Houston 73-66. Cincinnati upset Kansas 84-68. And Allen Fieldhouse too. Their big man Mustafa Cham had a great game with 28 points and 8 boards. Looked like a
Okay.
man amongst boys over there. BYU upset Iowa State 79-67.
Mm.
UCLA upset Illinois 95-94 in overtime, and they trailed by as many as 23 points.
How did they win that game, dude? Damn.
Man, I don't. They just plugged away. They just played ball. Just played ball,
One
and then
possession at a time, huh?
yeah, man, literally just one possession at a time. Once they forced into overtime, that's when you felt the momentum completely shift too.
Okay.
But they won that game on a buzzer beater as well.
Mm.
Went down the full length of the court, layup right at the buzzer.
Okay.
So that was big.
That's tough.
Yeah, just to go in depth a little bit. Arizona beating Houston. Anthony Delorso, 22 points off the bench. Bradley, 17 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. Kingston Flemings, freshman on Houston, 17 points, 8 boards, 4 assists. Arizona did not have their star player and Koa Pete, their star freshman. He's still out with a leg injury. But Arizona basically led the way the whole time, scored 16 points over turnovers. They held Houston scoreless for 7 minutes and 39 seconds in the second half.
7 minutes?
Yes, for a full almost for full 8 minutes. This was Arizona's third win versus a AP top 3 opponent this year.
Okay, so Arizona they got some things to say, definitely.
They are indeed the real deal. Duke beat Michigan 70-63 in a big game that felt like a real March Madness Final Four type of game. Just back and forth, a tough defensive game, especially in that second half. Michigan was in foul trouble, and they were also held to their season low of 63 points and a season low of field goal percentage at 40.
Mm,
They also only give up 25 points in the paint over the season, but to Duke they gave up 34.
to Duke, they gave up 34.
hmm
Wow. Okay.
So that was huge. BYU's upset over Iowa State. AJ Diabonta had 29 points, 10 for 17 from the field. He also had 10 boards and 9 assists.
That's a game. That's a game. That's
He
a
he
game.
he, he looked so good out there, so comfortable. Iowa State at one point just tried everything. They tried to double him, but as soon as they doubled him, he just he's tall, he's 6'9", so he was
Yeah.
able to just look over the defense and find the open man. BYU makes half of those shots that Diabate was passing off to them. Diabate more than likely has at least 12 assists.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. And that's where they
So
become dangerous because, if the defense focuses in on Diabonsa, and them got open guys are hitting their shots, that team is realistically unbeatable to me.
exactly. But the problem was we'll go here on Big Monday. Big Monday, North Carolina was able to beat Louisville 77-74. Kansas upset Houston 69-56. What's it called? Bill Self, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's 41 or 42-0 on Monday nights. So yes, there's a reason. So for all those out there who don't understand why Kansas is always getting scheduled on a Monday night on Big Monday, it's because of that. Because Bill Self is a monster right now. Okay, that's why. On Tuesday, UCF upsets BYU 97-84. As soon as you get your big win, now you get a big loss.
That can't happen. That can't happen.
Mm-mm. Cannot. I'm gonna be honest with you. UCF was just getting open shots, man.
Okay.
They were passing that ball around. They were getting literally any and everything that they wanted, and they also defended very well too. It basically let AJ do what he wants, but everyone else gets shut down.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically how they treated it.
I mean, and so then that's where BYU's weakness really comes into play.
Yeah,
Because if you're
yeah.
able to defend, if you have tall, lengthy defenders and you're able to defend on a perimeter, that's a problem.
And that's what UCF basically had. They had guys who could defend all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri upset number 22 Tennessee 73-69. In upsets number 23 St. Louis 77-62. St. Louis also has to watch out for themselves because just last week, they took an L to Rhode Island, bounced back, won against VCU. Taking this L to Dayton is pretty big too.
Yeah.
St. John's coming into their game on Wednesday against UConn, they won 13 straight. But UConn has something to say about that as they got their lick back from earlier this month,
Earlier.
beating St. John's 72-40. The Johnnies missed
BTA.
St. John's missed 24 straight field goals to end the game, Kyle. Their last field goal was at 17-28 in the second half. Exactly.
I have no words for that one. I have no words.
Neither do I. As soon as I look,
oh my God, I'm so disappointed.
I looked at the game. I looked at ESPN. I looked at the app, and I said, "Well, All right.
That's all you can say. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna put my phone back down.
That's exactly what I did. But to wrap it up, we got a huge Saturday. So stick with me. We got number 11 Virginia going into number 1 Duke. We got Seton Hall going to number 6 UConn. Number 25 Vanderbilt going to Kentucky. Number 24 Louisville going to Clemson. Number 14 Kansas going to number 2 Arizona. Number 16 Texas Tech going to number 4 Iowa State. Number 17 Alabama going to number 22 Tennessee. You got Villanova visiting number 15 St. John's. You got number 20 Arkansas visiting number 7 Florida, and then you got number 9 Gonzaga St. Mary's.
Full slate, full slate. I know where I'll be on Saturday.
Yep, yes, indeed, for sure. For
Okay.
sure.
Okay, we check it out. Check it out. Come back at the people later this week. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But that is our episode for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed just as much as we did. Stay tuned as we will be back next week for more. But till then, I'm your host, Cam Silver,
I'm your co-host, Kyle Silver.
and this is the Silver Boys.
Thank you. Thank you.